desgraciado!
¡Que salga Pilato!
People should not live in fear in their neighborhood. Somebody should be able to take a walk down their street without being afraid that they're going to be bitten, or the dog that they're walking that's under control is going to be mauled or bitten. And that's got to be our #1 priority.
I don't know what can change. Maybe they need to change it so that the speed limit slows down. Maybe they need to patrol more, so looking for drunk drivers on this road. I don't know how to change that.
Are you okay?
1511, go to response.
So all of this prairie that we're going to hike through today has been restored.
Another Black Friday is in the books, but this year the deal started a bit earlier at 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving.
Roof tiles are missing, wires are exposed, and workers spent the day repairing about $7,000 in damage.
Firefighters arrived to find heavy smoke coming from the house. Crews found flames as well as firewood stacked from the floor to the ceiling in the basement. Firefighters were forced to fight the fire from the outside once the first floor collapsed into the basement.
Wednesday, 31-year-old David Jones of Chicago was escorted out of a White County courtroom after he was sentenced to 18 years in the Department of Corrections.
But when does it turn into something more, something you have to do, something you can't put down? Oh, hang on one second. Spark says when you lose control of how you use electronic devices, they begin taking control. Research shows addiction to media isn't much different than drug addiction.
McCutcheon High School Principal John Beaker says changing all of the old logos in the school to the new ones could cost the school about $15,000. But Handback says it's a cost they were expecting.
Bunder says at the first of the month when people get their SNAP benefits, they'll go get groceries. Then about 2 weeks later, when the food runs out, they come to the food bank for help. Bunder thinks that time span will dwindle with the cuts.
And so 3 weeks later, Kenneth's body is found here at Davis Ferry Park. But police say he wasn't killed here. Instead, someone dumped his body because despite recent rains, his body was far enough away from the water's edge of the Wabash River. The detectives know he didn't float to the spot.
Hey Jeff and Gina, you know, drivers, we just have to face it. It's summer, it's construction season, and while these projects will bring some relief to drivers on the road once they're complete, area businesses say they're starting to feel the headache now too.
The report came in just after noon and that there were shots fired, and then a university spokeswoman confirmed to News 18 just moments later that in fact shots were fired at the electrical engineering building, and now we know at least one person was shot, and according to the university Twitter, one person is in custody. Even though one person is in custody, you can see right here a very active scene. A perimeter is around the electrical engineering building. There are some students outside of the doors here behind me, and I did see someone just walk out. It looked like a student, someone in casual wear, walk out of the front doors here within this perimeter. But so I do not know if it was locked down or if it was evacuated, and I don't know how serious injuries, if any more people were shot. I'm still waiting to hear from Purdue Police Chief John Cox exactly about all the facts of what's happened. But you can see Purdue Fire, Purdue Police, TEMA, West Lafayette Police were on the scene. Northwestern through campus right now is closed, so only emergency vehicles, police officers are being allowed to get through, and in a large area, even across the street when it comes to pedestrian traffic, is also being cut off.
Team leader 1 with voice power.
Sometimes you forget you're in an exercise environment. That's how real it gets.
What hurts? This arm and this shoulder.
There's bleeding, there's screaming. You might be able to hear some of the screaming going on in the background. These folks are in here, they've been in here all day, they want out, and it's up to us to get them out.
It was late Sunday afternoon when an EF1 tornado ripped through Tipton, Indiana, scattering debris and flooding homes. It was the focus of a training scenario at Muscatatuck Urban Training Base this week, and it's a scenario District 4 Task Force Commander Jeff Houston says his team didn't want to miss.
teams from out of the country come in here and train as well. As you can see, it's an unbelievable training facility that they have down here.
That's because it's all focused on real-life scenarios. During Tuesday's training exercise, members of District 4 were dispatched to a collapsed building. Inside were 6 victims, but Houston says getting to those victims can often be challenging.
You can't walk in the front door because the front door's gone. So you have to go in through a wall. And basically that's what they're trying to do now.
While some were performing rescues on land, others were in the water, working to rescue stranded residents from their flooded homes. It's a job Tippecanoe County EMA Director Smokey Anderson says doesn't just look tough from the shore.
They have all kinds of obstacles underwater, real-life type obstacles, mailboxes and cars and fire hydrants and those kind of things that we have to maneuver around.
This is the 5th time District 4 has taken part in the training. It's a grant-funded training program, and Houston says it's a program they'll continue to be a part of.
That's the whole idea of this place, to come down here with your local departments, through the district task forces, and get training that departments can't afford back home.
Oh, I'll take one too.
There you go. Enjoy your day at the fair.
We grew up around there and we love the Boilermakers.
There you go. You got a tattoo.
It just warms your heart, you know. I love to come and get to Purdue's bag and see the train and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Just love it.
You were a graduate. There you go.
It's all things black and gold at the State Fairgrounds celebrating Purdue Day.
I live about 2.5 hours from Purdue, so I live in southern Indiana. So it's an easy way for me to get to interact and see Purdue and be participating in some of the activities Purdue does across the state. For Purdue alumna Linnea Pennycuff, it's just another Boilermaker tradition. I haven't missed it in, well, it's been about 7 years, and he's not missed it since he's been born, and he'll be 3 in October. For Boilermakers, Purdue Day at the Indiana State Fair is a time to remember all of their favorite memories from West Lafayette.
We used to live right across the street from the reflection pool at Club 25, so I miss that. That was always lots of fun there. Everybody got thrown into the reflection pool, you know. For others, like incoming Purdue freshman Ryan Poore, it's a chance to celebrate with fellow Boilermakers.
It's always been a dream to go to Purdue. I mean, I've attended football games since I was a young kid and been to a couple of basketball games. And now that it's approaching, I'm a little nervous, but pretty excited to finally be a Boilermaker.
There are folks that have been eating this for a long time.
The day was filled with Purdue events, including cooking demonstrations.
I used about 3/4 of a cup.
From a Purdue top chef.
Do you know any astronauts?
Purdue trivia games.
Okay, we got a blood sugar 95. You're looking pretty good on that one.
A quick checkup.
On the county on there.
And of course, information on the various programs available for incoming students.
I'm undecided, so they're kind of, swaying me to go one way or another and telling me about their programs and stuff, so getting a lot of information. And an important piece of information all Boilermakers know is the good old saying.
Go Purdue.
Boiler up. Boiler up.
At the Indiana State Fair, Holly Campbell, News 18.
If you listen closely, you can hear it. To a farmer, it sounds like this. Golden ears of corn turning into piles of gold, 1 acre at a time. The reward after months of work. But the harvested crop isn't the only payoff. The last 18 harvests have brought in more than $604 million in subsidies to Benton, Tippecanoe, and White County farmers.
Oh, we've got it now.
You just want to load me at the corner then?
Number 4 on the list is Vandercleed Farms, owned by Kurt Vandercleed.
I'm 55. I've farmed my whole life.
Vandercleed farms about 2,000 acres of corn and soybeans around West Point. He's collected more than $1.5 million in subsidies since 1995. Most years, subsidies bring in about $45,000 in income. But on 5 occasions, usually when prices are bad, he's collected more than $100,000 in a single year.
I prefer not to take anything from the government, but I think that it's something that it's just part of the way you do business.
According to USDA data compiled by the advocacy group Environmental Working Group, 32 farmers have collected more than $1 million in subsidy payments for their operations in just those 3 counties since 1995. Topped by Suter Farms Partnership at $3.1 million, it's a group that also includes a partnership partially owned by District 25 Representative Don Leahy. But that doesn't account for farmers who have interests in multiple partnerships. For example, number 28 is W.J. Brost Farms Incorporated, owned by Bill Brost, a recipient of $1.03 million. But Brost is a part of 4 businesses whose 9 listed subsidies total nearly $2.2 million, which would put it at number 2. The 6th highest recipient is Purdue University at $1.5 million since '95. With 3,500 acres in Tippecanoe County, it's the site of hundreds of student and faculty projects, as well as crops to feed livestock on the Animal Sciences Farm.
For us, it's a pot of money that is useful to help directly support research. The goal for us is to have a crop to meet expenses.
March 3rd, 1989. Spotty snow dots the landscape around the Days Inn at the Remington exit of I-65 and US 24. A part-time night auditor from Rensselaer, Jeannie Gilbert doesn't usually work the midnight to 7 a.m. shift on Fridays because she works full-time as a bookkeeper for an oil company. But the divorced mother of 2 had traded shifts so she wouldn't miss her daughter's last game as a Tri-County high school cheerleader.
And I got a call on my
I called you.
pacer to call the office.
Hi, my name is Jean Gilbert.
Jeannie filmed this video for a finance class at St. Joseph's College about a year before her murder. Even in a serious demonstration speech, her personality is evident, playfully rolling her eyes, trying to find the right spot in the newspaper.
I have my bond here.
At first, Jeannie's just missing, along with $247 from the Days Inn. But by the time her father can drive to the motel, Jeannie's naked body has been discovered in the next county. A school bus full of children found Jeannie's body in a ditch along this deserted country road in White County, more than 20 miles away from the Days Inn, 2.5 miles northwest of Brookston. Jeannie has been raped. The 34-year-old was shot multiple times with defensive wounds evident from where she tried to fight off her attacker. Just hours earlier and 50 miles away, another Days Inn night clerk was killed under similar circumstances. 24-year-old Mary Gill was killed with the same .22 caliber handgun at the Days Inn in Maryville at I-65 and US 30.
Which has led us to believe, naturally, that we're dealing with a serial killer here.
A serial killer who was struck before. 2 years earlier, a rape and murder of a motel clerk again along I-65 in Elizabethtown, Kentucky in 1987. Then this man attacks another Days Inn clerk in Columbus, Indiana in January 1990, almost 10 months to the day of Jeannie's death. Detectives say DNA links the same man to all 4 crimes.
All research pretty much says that serial killers don't stop, or at least don't stop willingly.
But since 1990, the case has gone cold. Did Jeannie's killer die taking his crimes to the grave? Is he in prison somewhere serving a long sentence? It's all speculation. Possible suspects through the years linked to crimes from New Mexico to Michigan have not been a match for Jeannie's killer.
I hope it was a slow, painful death if he died. That's the way I look at it. And if he's not, I hope when he does, it will be.
It bothers me that we haven't been able to bring somebody to justice.
In 24 years, some things have changed. The Days Inn at the Remington exit has become the Sunset Inn. Corn and soybeans grow on County Road 150 West, northwest of Brookston. A woman who balanced 2 jobs along with going to school and being a loving mother to a 17-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son would now be a mother of 2 adults and a grandmother to 3. But in 24 years, some things have not changed. Most notably, the pain of 2 parents who have lost their daughter too soon.
And I want to thank you for your interest and for your attention. Thanks.
Andy, what's your most prized memory of her?
I had a lot of them.